does it feel good to be recognized after all this time, or in your own heart, have you just been following what you do and have?
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
No, the running joke is just goes, well, one of my friends is just like, see, asshole, you stuck around long enough. They had no one left to vote for. You know what I mean? If you're in it long enough, of course you're gonna win most valuable. There's no one left to vote for. And it's just like, oh, who do we got to vote for? I just picked the fucking vote for the dumb Mick. Fucking like, I don't know. Just, oh, it's cool, but I mean, you know, it's like, you know, that ain't gonna change anything. I mean, because that's what I never wanted to win it, just because, you know, to win most valuable, you know.
Right.
I mean, back when Randy Rhoads was winning those things in Guitar Player magazine and all that stuff, and Eddie Van Halen, you know, I mean, Eddie Van Halen didn't get so good to learn, you know, to be able to play Spanish Fly, so that, you know. I mean, I don't do it to get a fucking pat on the back, you know what I mean? So I put it this way: if the show kicks ass, I don't need people crawling up my ass and telling me it's a good show or man, we, you know, it's just like I know. It's like, yeah, I know, you know what I mean? But if the show sucked, it's just like, if someone's sucking my ass, it's like, dude, just leave me the fuck alone. The fucking show's terrible, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, if it's good or bad.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going for. I mean, you've been feeding yourself. You don't need it.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it's definitely an honor. You
Sure.
know what I mean? Yeah, it's without, you know, for to be recognized by your peers or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like the most valuable thing. I mean, but you know, it's just like, but you know, just with Black Label, it's always a humbling experience because then I go, see, most valuable, and I got, and on the thing it said #2 best metal guitars. You know, because Dime won it. I love Dime to death. So I mean, you know, you got Dime's #1. I go #2. And they go, yeah, you know what that means, jackass? I'm like, what? You're the first loser, motherfucker. Yes, that's like. Then I was going, yeah, but I still won. See, I'm the #1 first loser. You know. Yeah. So, you know, it's just like, you know, remember that one Seinfeld episode? That's what I always equated to. Remember a guy was like, wanted to be called Maestro?
Yep.
That one guy, Bob or whatever,
Right,
because he worked. He goes, oh, so I guess Leonard Cohen worked with the New York Philharmonic, so I guess he could be called most, you know, a maestro. And I go, yeah, remember Elaine's just like, yeah, but don't you think in social situations, like, his friends were like, hey, Lenny, you want a beer? You know, and they were like, no, I heard from an inside source. They were like, Maestro, would you like a beer? Remember, she's like, all right, Maestro. And then remember when they were like, they're sitting there making out, and she's like, oh, Bob. And he just like looks at her.
Yeah.
And she's like, I mean, Maestro. I told Barb, I said, you know, I would prefer to be called most valuable. And she's like, yeah, you're fucking dreaming.
Yeah.
We'll clean up some shit in the backyard.
Does the focus on you help what you do? The fact that you may have a bigger audience for the record, that the record's doing better. I mean,
yeah, hopefully. I mean, you can sell some fucking albums. I mean, but you know, because I mean, it's not like, you know, it's yeah, you're making the records to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? I mean, the only thing I ever call selling out is, when you ask any musician, is that they're really making music they don't want to make, and you know they're not making music they want to make. I mean, it's like, I mean, Bon Jovi's never sold out because, you know what, they've always made those kind of records anyway.
Yeah.
I fucking can't stand them, but they've always made pop rock records anyway. It's not like they were fucking Motorhead for their first 4 records and all of a sudden they come out with Slippery When Wet, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just like, it's like, you know, Led Zeppelin all of a sudden, you know, Bon Jovi's happening, and then, like, you know, Led Zeppelin, they kept going through the 80s, you know, like, started going, roll, you know, and then Jimmy Page is frosting the tips of his hair and everything, you know, because Bon Jovi's doing it and they're selling $1 million. Then it's like, that's a fucking sellout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just like, you know, commercial bands are just, you know, you're always going to have commercial fucking music, and you're always going to have underground, you know, your Motorheads and your fucking, I mean, Sabbaths, you know, I mean, Sabbath made records that they wanted to make, you know what I mean? or, you know, Alice in Chains made albums they wanted to make. That's why it's fucking. The only advice I always give kids, they're like, dude, it's like, yeah, if you like old Metallica, make those, you know, don't copy them, but I mean, you know, make music that's in that same genre or same zip code. You know what I mean? If you love Pantera, how are you making, like, you know, like goofy NSYNC records? And it's like, you listen to Pantera all the time? What the? It's like, well, you know, yeah, but NSYNC sell a lot of records. It's like, yeah, but you hate that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the only advice I give to kids. I mean, but no, I mean, nothing's really gonna fucking change. I mean, yeah, of course, I think anybody who makes records, of course, Sabbath wanted to sell records just as much as, you know, Led Zeppelin. You know, but it's just like, you know, I think if people, you know, because people know when it's fucking phony, when it's fake, and it's bullshit, and, you know. But fuck it, man. You know, what are you gonna do? I mean, just as long as you got enough money and you're a working musician, you know, I could put fucking food on the table and a roof over the house, that, you know, for my wife and kids. I mean, I got nothing to fucking complain about, you know.
See, that's one thing that I find so intriguing about you, and if you could talk about it just a little bit. The types of records you make, the imagery in the records, the lyrics, the dark, that whole thing. If somebody were to come and meet you, I would think that you're this naysayer, doomsday guy hiding in the corner waiting for the bomb to fall. But you're not like that. You're an optimist and obviously a sensitive, passionate guy. But you make those, let's call them dark records, lyrically. You know,
but I mean, I'm not.
Where does that come from?
Well, just because I, you know, being weaned on Sabbath and I love Sabbath and everything like that, it's just, you know.
So it really was an outgrowth of that stuff then.
Yeah, and you know, and I tend to look at things like, you know, fucking Doomsday Jesus, we need you now. That's what, you know, I just wrote that about the fucking war. Like, you know what, fuck, you know, after World War II, you know, I mean, after the Trade Center, I go fucking, you know. No, we don't need the forgiving Jesus for this one. We need Doomsday Jesus now. You know what I mean?
I see.
So it's all, you know, it's about, yeah, it's just like kill or be killed, man. You know what I mean? After a while, you get fucking smacked around for so fucking long, which is what these other cocksuckers have been doing to America. It's just like, you know what? That's enough of this. We're fucking putting a hammer down now. You know what I mean? So that's what Doomsday Jesus is about. But I mean, unlike the grunge thing, you know, which everything was like, woe me, self-pity type thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought the lyrics were fucking brilliant too, though. You know what I mean? I you know, Chris's stuff, Chris Cornell and fucking Lane, you know, and Jerry, you know, just amazing, you know.
Those are good bands.
And Kurt Cobain, Kurt was, you know, beyond brilliant. I mean, you know, but it's just about everything was just about getting beat on, you know. Ours is about getting, yeah, you can get beat on, but ours is more about fucking just getting knocked down and getting the fuck back up, you know. Fucking hit, you know, knock me the fuck down, pick up a fucking brick and smash it over your head. It's more, it's more that type of thing, you know.
Yeah, right.
It's not woe me, you know.
Yeah, no. Yeah, right.
It's more strength, you know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
But it's a darker side of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Heard the new record, thought it was great. I think it's one of the best records you've made in a long time.
Thanks.
Do you think that somehow, and it's not a conscious thing, that maybe somehow you've found what Black Label Society is in terms of a direction? You found your stride. I mean, the songwriting just seems to, the songs have a continuity, you know, and there's a feel and a sense of, you know what I mean? It just has
but you know what I mean? Like, when I listen to the other records, I mean, obviously it's just...
I'm not putting the other records down.
No. I mean, but I just think, you know, I'm always going to have, like, you know, the Blessed Hell Rides on the record with it. You got the acoustic things, then Dead Meadows got the piano, you know, where it's like... I'm always going to have those on the records, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, how Sabbath would put changes on the record. And, you know, Zeppelin, as heavy as it got, they'd always have Going to California's on the record. And, you know, it'd make it more of a roller coaster ride, you know? But, no, I don't, you know, obviously, like, playing guitar or whatever, the better you're going to get from practicing, you know? But, I mean, no, and it's just, you know, we went in the studio just like all the other records. It just took about 50 days to make the record, you know? There's no
Really?
practices, no pre-production, none of that shit.
You've never done that, have you?
Never. You just go in the studio and just fucking start jamming, and that's it. Because otherwise, I mean, that's how they did it back in the day. You think Sabbath had enough time to fucking spend 9 months working on a record? They didn't. They were, you know, look at the years on their records. Sometimes it'd be like them coming out with 2 albums in 1 year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And touring, you know what I mean? Mind you, the tours would be just as long as it, you know, but they didn't have enough time to, you know, they weren't able to tour for 8 months, then spend another 9 months in the studio working on, you know, in rehearsals and working on the next record. It was just like, we need another fucking album. It was just like, all right, we'll get in the studio and start fucking. They'd be getting loaded and just see what they can come up with.
So, do you come into the studio with ideas? I mean, you have guitar licks, some melodies in your head. Nothing. Literally nothing.
Nothing.
You're not the kind of guy who writes down lyric ideas or a chord change or a...
The only time I'll ever come up with that is if I actually see like you know, if I see something like a newspaper article might say, you know, Doomsday Jesus, or you know, like a line like the more things change, the more they stay deranged. You know, like just like if you see certain titles or lines that look really cool, it's like, man, I could fucking use that probably in somewhere in there. You know what I mean? In a song. But I mean, aside of that, no, it's just, you know, just look through books for like cool titles and shit like that. You know what I mean? The Blessed Hell Ride. I mean, that's just about us being out on the fucking road. You know?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, just everyday life. You know, everybody, you know, the daily grind, that's all it's about. You know, you could have a fucking 9 to 5 fucking, you know, factory job, just a blessed hell ride, you know what I mean?
So you go in the studio, it's basically you by yourself first, right? Because, I mean, the only other person coming in is the drummer.
It's just, yeah, Craig. It's just me and Craig, and then we just fucking get fucking some ass-kicking sounds in the headphones, and just, I'll start pumping out riffs, Craig, you know, and then we just start playing. Then, you know, it's just like, man, this sounds fucking cool. You know?
So you work on it, you'll get an arrangement, put it down, then just go back and
we just put a quick track up, and then this way, you know, we know where all the parts are, you know what I mean? Whatever. So, yeah, and then we just jam it out jam it out like 2 or 3 times, or just, you know, go over it like 2 or 3 times, so Craig knows where the fucking parts are, and I'll just hum a fucking melody, and it might not have to be the one that I'm gonna sing on the thing. Just so we know where the verse is, and then here's the pre-chorus, there's a chorus, back to the verse again, and, you know, then we'll do this middle 8 thing, and then and then go into this other, you know, so that's about it, man.
So the music gets put down, you'll sit there, you'll write out a lyric, sing some melodies.
I'll sing some melodies, and then like then we'll put all the music down, then I'll go in and do the bass with the scratch guitars. And I mean, you know, I might be playing shit that's a little out of tune or whatever. Just, you know, just fucking leave it on there. Just as long as the drum takes good, that's all that matters. And then once we get Craig's drums done, which only takes about fucking, you know, 8 to 12 days tops. I mean, you know, just because Craig will play everything. The only reason why I do it if Craig listens back and goes, I can fucking do better than that. Fucking let's do it again, you know. That would be the only reason why we spend extra time doing it. But, you know, the way I always looked at it, I mean, you know, if you know how to play your fucking instrument, it ain't no fucking big deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the guys that, you know, can't even fucking play. It's just like they're just in a, you know what I mean? It takes them forever to fucking do everything. You know? I mean, you play, you know, when I had, like, Paul Buckmaster when we did the Pride and Glory thing, they came in there and fucking knocked out 3 fucking songs, a 17-piece strings section. Never heard any of the fucking songs. Knocked it out in like 2 hours. And I just went over it once, and you know, but like 3-4 songs with string arrangements and everything. It was like, and you know, that's what I'm talking, like actually getting the mic set up and everything. It took them about 2 hours. Just to fucking knock it right. As soon as they started playing it, they just fucking did it, and then they were like, all right, good. Let's get to the fucking bar now. See you later.
Are you a religious guy?
Oh yeah, totally, man. Without a doubt, why not?
Yeah.
You know, who do you think makes the beer?
With Ozzy and this show and all this new Ozzy being glorified as the coming of the next how does it affect you, if at all? All this new people looking at Ozzy, and I mean him becoming this like international.
Well,
Beyond the music.
thing for him, he just wants to get back to doing music all the time. Cause he just goes, Zakk, he goes, kind of fucked up the other day. I'm hanging out, and he goes, this woman comes up to me and goes, yeah, I love your TV show. And she goes, you know, I didn't know you did music too. He was like, fucking nice.
Yeah, that probably is not a.
Well, for him, he was like, fucking,
no.
you do music too, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, I want people to lose fact that I'm a fucking, you know, I'm a musician, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, no, you know, I mean, the show's over now because I think Sharon's going to start doing her own talk show and everything like that. So he won't have to worry about the cameras being around 24/7 and all that shit.